Her voice was cold, final. There was no room for conversation. I stared at her, letting those words sink in, sharp and unnatural in the space we'd once filled with love and dreams.
I didn't yell.
I didn't argue. I simply nodded.
Fine, I said.
Then I turned, walked to the bedroom, pulled out my suitcase, and began packing, calmly, deliberately. It was the kind of clarity that only comes when someone crosses a line so deep there's no going back. What happened next was a blur etched into my memory so deeply, I'll never forget it. I'm Liam, 32. She was Chloe, 30. We were together for 5 years, engaged for 1. And for the most part, things were smooth, at least on the surface. The wedding was planned, the venue booked. We'd been through the cake tastings, the guest list debates, the endless deposits and decisions. Everything was humming along until that one conversation shattered everything. It was a quiet Saturday afternoon. We were sitting at the dining table, sipping lukewarm coffee, reviewing the guest list for what felt like the 10th time. The Redwood Grove was already secured, an absolutely stunning venue nestled beneath towering trees. I'd paid most of it myself. The deposit, the majority of the expenses, it was meant to be a celebration of unity and love. Instead, Chloe used it as leverage. She stiffened suddenly, her voice sharpening. I've been thinking about your family, she began. I've decided they can't come to the wedding. I blinked. I'm sorry, what? All of them? Yes, she said firmly. Your parents, your sister, even Sarah. Your cousins, they're just not our kind of people. Our kind, I repeated, my throat dry. They're loud, Liam. A bit unrefined. This wedding is supposed to be sophisticated, elegant. I want something tasteful, not, she trailed off, wrinkling her nose. Not them. I leaned back in my chair, stunned. These were the people who welcomed her from day one. They helped us with a down payment on our first apartment. They invited her to every holiday, every birthday. Sarah, whom Chloe had personally asked to be a bridesmaid, spent hours helping her choose shoes and centerpieces. My heart dropped when she added, "My mother agrees. It's for the best." End of discussion. The blood drained from my face. She wanted me to throw away the people who raised me, who supported both of us because they didn't fit her curated image of perfection. She didn't want a wedding filled with joy. She wanted a glossy, magazine cover fantasy. And worse, she felt entitled to demand it. I stood up, voice steady. There is no wedding without my family. She crossed her arms. You're being dramatic.
No.
I'm being clear. And I walked out. I packed deliberately. Not out of impulse, but because I realized something critical. Any woman who tries to erase your roots doesn't deserve to build a future with you. She followed me around in disbelief. You can't be serious, she said, her voice rising. You're ending this over that? No, I replied. You ended this when you tried to erase the people who matter most to me.
She cried.
Maybe real tears. Maybe frustration. I didn't care anymore. The switch had flipped. I walked out and went straight to my sister's. Sarah didn't ask questions. She just hugged me tight and made up the guest bed. Later that night, Chloe's best friend, Zoe, called me. Liam, she said, Chloe's a mess. She didn't mean it like that. Didn't mean what? I asked. That my family wasn't good enough? That she'd rather marry me without them there? She meant every word, Zoe. She was crystal clear. But she loves you. If this is her version of love, I want no part of it. By Monday, I had made some decisions. First up, the Redwood Grove. The contract was in my name. I called the coordinator and canceled the wedding. Yes, I lost the deposit, thousands of dollars. But money was the least important thing I was reclaiming. Then I asked a simple question that felt like breathing for the first time in days. Is the venue still available that same weekend for a family reunion?
It was.
So I paid the remaining balance and booked it, not for a marriage, but for something far more permanent. My family. I sent out a mass email to the vendors. Chloe and her parents had paid the caterer's deposit, not me. I notified them that the wedding was canceled. Any further arrangements were their responsibility. Attached to my message was a screenshot of Chloe's exact words. Your family is not invited. End of discussion. I received no reply. I boxed up her belongings and left them on the porch with a 1-week deadline for pickup. No entry. No conversation. Just closure. Days passed. Silence. Then, the reunion began. RSVPs rolled in. Photos started popping up online, smiling faces beneath those giant redwoods. Barbecues. Laughter. Dancing under string lights. My phone lit up with tags and texts. And then, like clockwork, came Chloe. Liam, what is this? A family reunion at the Redwood Grove. I replied. That's our wedding venue. No, Chloe.
It was.
The wedding's canceled. You made that clear. I simply used what I paid for. Her rage exploded through voicemails, screaming, sobbing, demanding. You're trying to humiliate me. You're making a mockery of this. Then softer. I miss you. I made a mistake. Let's talk. Please, we can fix this. I didn't reply. Zoe called again. Liam, this is cruel. Chloe's not eating. She's devastated. She wanted to devastate my family, I said. And she succeeded. Now she can live with it. I blocked her. Next came Diana, Chloe's mother, sickly sweet, trying to play diplomat. Liam, dear, I think there's been a misunderstanding. No, I said. There was clarity. You both agreed my family didn't belong, so I made sure they did. Without you. More texts from Chloe followed. You owe me for the caterer's deposit. What about my dress? You're a vindictive bastard. The audacity was staggering. One final reply. You disrespected my family. You ended the relationship. Your financial obligations are not mine. Consider this the end of all discussions. And then I blocked her for good. The reunion was everything the wedding never would have been. Kids with sticky fingers running through the grass. My uncle playing guitar by the fire pit. Laughter bouncing off the trees. We had burgers instead of filet mignon. A bouncy castle instead of a champagne tower. And joy, real, messy, unfiltered joy. My mother cried. My father gave a toast. My sister hugged me like she hadn't in years. I looked around and saw my family, not just smiling, but seen and valued. Chloe wanted to exclude them for aesthetics. She got excluded for good. A week later, her final act arrived. A letter, written on faux fancy letterhead, signed by her and Diana, demanding mediation. They wanted compensation for the dress, the deposits, and emotional distress and humiliation caused by my family reunion. I laughed. So did Sarah, who conveniently works as a paralegal. They should have hired a real lawyer, she said. Then came the smear campaign. Suddenly, I was labeled as unstable, cold-footed, manipulative. Her version of events spread like cheap perfume, strong at first, but it faded under the weight of truth. Anyone who asked got the receipts. Her words. My calm replies. And the photos. So many photos of love. When she tried to damage my reputation at the community center where I volunteer teaching coding to kids, I prepared for the fallout. But the director just smiled and said, I know who you are, Liam. This smells like bitterness. She was right. The last I heard, Chloe was desperately trying to salvage her image. But people talk. Truth leaks. Even Zoe, I heard, started pulling away. It's hard to offend someone who builds their world on lies and throws stones at those who tried to love them. As for me, I'm peaceful, lighter. My bond with my family has never been stronger. I look back and realize how close I came to marrying into a life of conditions and control. Chloe wanted a perfect wedding. Without my family, she got no wedding. And a family party in the very place she tried to erase them from. She said, end the discussion. So I did.